We're now Big Van Vader, and we're in Tokyo.
I grew up from Bulltown.
You grew up.
All right.
You matured. You got
In
big,
Japan.
bigger.
Mr. Inoki.
Mr. Inoki. Talk about Inoki. Well, let's start right there.
Well, you know, everyone knows Antonio Inoki. He is the legend. And at this time, we're talking about a sumo palace that was oversold out. It was filled to the rafters, and apparently, I was to fight Fujinami, and Fujinami didn't want to fight me. He heard I was real strong, aggressive, afraid I might hurt him, and Fujinami didn't want to do the job because that's what he would have to do. So he just refused to fight. So Inoki finished his match with Fujinami. Okay, he stayed in the ring and called me out. Everyone said I challenged him, but the reality was Inoki called me out because I had my street clothes on. Masa Saito was the gentleman who booked me in Japan. He came in the ring, told me, "Hey, Fujinami's going to fight." So I took my clothes off and had a couple beers, and then all of a sudden Inoki starts calling me out. I had to get dressed. Everyone had to wait on me, and I came out.
You're showing no mercy here with Antonio. Is this something he welcomed, being that stiff with him?
Well, he wanted to. He said, "Leon, this is your debut." He didn't say Leon, but this, in other words, I had a translator. This was my debut. Be as stiff as you need to be. Get over because we have big plans for you. The Vader gimmick, was something they were counting on, and they felt they had the right person, and so I needed to fill those shoes.
The Vader gimmick itself came from where?
Well, okay, Vader, as far as I understand it, is a 5th century ancient warrior, and Vader. It's not Big Van. It's not Darth Vader, and it's not, of course, me, Big Van Vader. It's Vader is a Japanese samurai warrior who protected his village against another warrior, and that's how they settled disputes in that time. One village, the other village, they don't destroy each other's village. They sent one fighter, and these guys rowed out to an island, and they fought for 72 hours, and as legend has it, they died at each other's feet. So obviously Vader is an emperor's warrior. This was the concept for Inoki, and they tried to fill that legend with me. My understanding is Sid Vicious had they had chose him before me, and they had chose
Helwig, the warrior.
The warrior before me, and I was told later that they're glad they picked me because the Vader gimmick did pretty well in Japan. In fact, pretty well.
Good Lord, you could say that again.
But this is the first match, and it went well. Now, after this match is over, the fans rioted, and they burned their. It wasn't that we had to call in the police and billy clubs and guns of that nature, but they burned. They sit in the sumo palace. They sit on pillows, and they spilt their drinks. They threw their drinks and burned their pillows. So it was. My question was, is it like this every night? Because it was pretty wild.
Well, that's a clear indication, though, that you're getting the heat that's required with the gimmick and with bringing you in. Were you immediately afraid for your safety, realizing, Jesus, if these people...
You know what? I remember back then I had a very aggressive nature, and actually I was intoxicated at this point, standing up on the rope. I had 3 or 4 beers, and I was drinking with Saito, and he heard something and set down his beer and went out and come running back, and there's Saito there in the ring, and
Fucking Saito. Nothing good comes with having a few beers from Saito, right?
Well,
ask Ken Patera.
Look, see, now he's coaching me, saying fight him, and obviously we know with Saito and Ken Patera what happens. So.
But this, exactly the reaction they wanted, right? I mean, this Inoki's brainchild worked.
I think we exceeded expectations that night, and it was a great run for me. It really was. Okay. Where are we at, man?
We're in Japan, Tokyo. Superpowers Clash, New Japan. April 24th, 1989, Tokyo Dome.
Yeah.
Now this is the tournament, and here we have the final. Hashimoto. Is it fair to say you had some issues?
Well, I never felt he lived. Well, I don't want to say never, but at this particular point in time, Hashimoto did not live up to the money he was making, the fame he had in Japan, elsewhere around the world. I didn't feel he compared to Chono or Muta at that time, and he smoked a lot, he drank a lot, and I didn't think that I didn't have the respect for him at this particular time that I had for other Japanese wrestlers.
How did he present himself to you outside the ring? Was he humble, or was he someone who thought he deserved the respect?
As far as the individual, I don't really know, didn't know him well enough, but he was, in my opinion, he was somewhat arrogant. He would, as they say, take liberties. In other words, you would give him your arm. I remember the arm, not at this point, but a little bit later on in this match. I don't know if we'll see it because this one I understand is edited, but he had my arm over the rope, and I gave it to him,
right,
like this, and I actually took my arm away, and when he did that, he bent it, and to this day, this elbow's crippled. I mean, the ligament here and the elbow. So you give yourself to somebody.
Yeah.
And I remember going to the doctor, and I needed surgery and never had it. So the elbow was very arthritic at this point, but I don't know if that was it.
He is working the arm
He's
now.
working the arm, but I remember, he really did hurt it, and
so he was stiff in general, right? I mean,
his kicks were, everyone, my reputation is that I was stiff, and I was, and I accept that, but Hashimoto was equally as stiff and probably more dangerous. I mean, I would club you and I would clothesline the hell out of you, but I wouldn't kick you in the face.
You wouldn't take a joint and
that didn't know how to, one, but wouldn't do it, and two, the kicks to the head and stuff like this. So this was, we were pretty leery of each other, and the match went on.
It's notable that Lou Thez is in fact the referee here.
Yes, sir. We were in the Tokyo Dome, I believe. Now, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but this match was. There's a drop kick.
Drop kick by Vader. Let's please not let that go unmentioned.
Drop kick.
First and last, or what?
No, I did a few, but not many. But
okay.
I can't do that anymore. That's for sure.
Wow.
But this was like we were 70,000 people, plus.
I don't know the attendance, but I would buy that, sure.
Which really, I want to use the word freaked. It really impressed me at that time.
You worked 3 times for the tournament. This being the final of those matches. Chono, Fujinami, and then here. How just gassed are you at this point? You're not a small man.
This is the 3rd match. Yeah, I'm physically exhausted, and I had gotten in good shape, but at my size, we're over an hour at this point in terms of wrestling time and
your total time in the ring.
Total time in the ring, and they weren't your typical hour matches where you sit and hold. I mean, they were 18, 20, 24, 26, 28 minute matches where you're moving and you're working. So yeah, I'm extremely tired.
But taking those wonderful kicks. Now, is he taking the receipt properly in return, or
no? Yeah, with this guy, he continually kicks you in the elbow, and not in the safe part, but down on the joint, and he kicks you hard, even if it's in the muscle. You have to let it know, hey, you're hurting me, so I'm gonna let you know that. In other words, I'm gonna hurt your back.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hit your back. So that was the first clothesline. A lot of people don't know this, but this is the 2nd clothesline, and this was not the finish. We had another 5 minutes in the match, but that clothesline right there actually knocked him out. And you'll see Thez is actually confused. 1, 2, he stops. You see that?
Because there's supposed to be a kick out.
There's supposed to be a kick out. There wasn't, so I pinned him. And again, you're in Japan. Had I known he was hurt or not going to kick out, I would have pulled him up. But
you didn't know, and this was back at a time when, what are you going to do? The third hand's got to come down.
In Japan, for me to pick him up or jump off him at that point, it would have really gone over bad.
Right. Yeah.
In that era and that day. But yeah, that was a tough match.
Who had first proposed that you would get the belt?
I think it was a plan all along.
Yeah.
Had I worked out, if I had filled the shoes of Vader and was drawing people, which I know when I got there, business wasn't really all that good, and I remember bringing myself in and Bam Bam after me and a series of guys, but business picked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whoa, where we at, Sean?
Tokyo Dome, once again.
Uh-oh.
February 10th, 1990. Your old pal.
This match cost me a lot of money, I'm telling you what. For hospital bills.
Look at this.
I made a little money, but whatever I made in the ring, I'll tell you, I spent 3 times that in surgeries after the ring, and that's a shoot. Legitimate story.